Hello, hello. I'll be starting in just 1 minute. Hello, everybody. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So, test server currently closed, of course. Hey, Gaines. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So, test server is closed until Tuesday. It's my last chance at a stream for a little while. I'm alone with my kids this weekend, so no shot I'm gonna have time or energy to stream Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, we'll probably stream on Tuesday. As soon as the test server starts with the changes, we'll be testing those out on Tuesday. For today, I'm thinking about doing the bounty here on my main monk, although I'm kind of tempted to maybe roll the dice and see if I get a better bounty, because it's like almost max kill, bronze. I've got 10 tokens plus a daily to claim. I'm actually kind of tempted maybe maybe take it for a spin, see if we get something better. But also planning to do some, yeah, maybe just looking at the wheel and gems, because we're talking a little bit about like monk rotations and stuff on the Discord, and it just gave me an idea that maybe I'll spend some time just looking, at the wheels, maybe write some down and share them, see what we can come up with for like good wheels. We could look at the monk. We could look at the Paladin as well. I'm not sure if there's much point looking at the EK because I feel like they're changing the wheels still a little bit. We'll see. Please start with the monk? Yeah, we'll probably start with the monk, yeah. Are you surprised as I am that they made all those changes? Yeah, of course. On one hand, I am surprised. On the other hand, I feel like Tipsoft has mastered the art of starting with bad changes or changes that people don't like and then giving something better, likely what Tipsoft intended in the first place, but it's better received after they initially do some garbage that people don't like. Then the other set of changes that they do on top of that seem a lot better than if they came out with those changes in the first place, right? Dolgob and Soulsouls at 500. I just use Stag, dude. If you've got Stag already, then just use Stag. Hey, Vilto. This is not rebalanced, the discrimination to other vocations. Oh, a lot of vocations could think you're talking about them there. You need to clarify. You need to clarify which which one you think is getting discriminated. What I think about all the changes? I'm pretty okay with all the changes. I don't know, like for Paladin changes, I'm very happy. Monk changes, I think, are good. Give us a little bit of versatility and choice of rotations. I think. EK changes are good. Sorcerer changes are good. Druid changes, I have faith, will be good. Not quite there yet, though. Hey, Letiso. Team Hunting looks broken now? In what way? Too easy? Too hard? Not good enough? Man and Buffer is really good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little too good, but we'll see how it really feels on real servers, because nobody's really testing stuff and hunting the way they would be in on real servers, and not really paying that much attention to the buffer. I do wonder if it'll in practice really make mages too powerful, like, well, too to have too much survivability, especially when solo hunting. I think they probably will. I think for mages, the only way you die now is if you like really overload and you get yourself trapped with like a crazy amount of monsters. Like that's the only way you die as a mage now, right? Too easy team hunting? Yeah, we'll see. Thoughts on Turkish hair transplant? Come on, Italian. I don't want to know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. When I think of EK changes, not the rebalance, but the changes the other day. I mean, I like EK changes, right? I mean, I think the survivability is very nice. The sustain is nice. I don't know. I like the EK changes. Where is my Crypt Strike? I sold it. I sold it because I didn't think I'd be playing the Monk after rebalance. I still don't. I'm probably going right now. It feels like Paladin after rebalance. My only problem with Paladin right now is if they leave the changes as they propose in the upcoming changes, I think it's too strong. And I'm worried that, I'll play Paladin for 2 months and it's going to get nerfed and then I'll have to redo everything. So if they release Paladin in a state that's obviously too strong still, I think I probably wouldn't play it. And instead I would wait for an appropriate nerf. If it happens, let's just wait and see. I feel like they're probably going to tweak the numbers in the second stage. Do I think Paladin healing will feel really bad? No. With the extra permanent distance buff, they're going to leech so much that the 15% heal reduction is not a big problem, and you can just switch to the defensive stance to get even more healing if needed. I think the leech is going to compensate. I think the sniper stance, as suggested, is too strong. But we shall see. Which virtue will be better from now on? That kind of depends how good the new builders will be. I think if for the monk, if Flurry of Blows build is really, really strong. So if you go, let me open up the wheel, right? Let me open up the wheel. I think something I really want to test next week is a sanctuary wheel, something like this. I mean, it's a lot of points, 900 points, something like this. Sanctuary wheel with a greater gem and double flurry of blows, or something like this. Something like this. Potentially going to be very, very strong. And I think if this is actually as strong as we think it might be, then going for Virtue of Justice will likely be the better idea, because then you can go the triple builder, triple flurry of blows build in the rotation, right? You can go flurry of blows, greater flurry of blows, flurry of blows. Then another builder, either the chain or the 1,000 fist blows, and then flurry of blows as well. And then you kind of do your build around flurry of blows, enlarged one. Do you recommend any VPN to use in Tibia? I use exit lag. I don't know. I use exit lag. That serves as a VPN as well. I'm pretty sure. I primarily use exit lag for double internet connection. So I died a couple of times to internet outages. So right now I have exit lag, I have my primary internet connection, and I have my phone hotspot connection to my computer. So I have 2 internets. I connect via exit lag. It means that I get a single IP address. Both I send the packets to the Tibia server through both the internet connections. If one of them drops, it seamlessly switches to the other one. So if my main internet drops, I just keep playing on the hotspot. That's why I use exit lag. I believe it's also a VPN, which can help with like some lags and stuff, but I don't know that much about that section, that part of it. So tips of degrees to use if you do so. Of course, exit lag is, well, there's no problem with exit lag at all. I mean, Tipsoft doesn't see anything with exit lag. It's just they just see one IP address that comes from exit lag. I do know that some VPNs can be blocked by Tibia servers. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like Cloudflare DNS protection or some shit. But when I was using a different VPN, some of the servers were blocked on Tibia. I couldn't log in. On exit lag, I've not had that issue at all ever. If you use redirect logins in the exit lag, I don't know about that. I don't use that. Do internet connections to play Tibia's next level? Well, not only that, I even when I set up the double internet connection, I also bought a battery. What is it called? A second battery that I connect to my computer's connected through, so that even if I had a power outage, in my building, which happens, 2-3 times a year, maybe, I wouldn't even lose power or internet. I would keep going. My battery lasts about like 30 minutes or so. So there is nothing that can kill me, bro. UPS, that's right, UPS, Universal Power Source, I think it stands for, right? Something like that. Yes, I have a UPS connected, double internet. Nothing's killing me, bro. I will never die to a power outage or an internet outage again. The death penalty in Tibia is just too harsh, dude. Too harsh. Anyway, yeah, talking of the wheels, yeah, I do think that this could be a really good sort of high level. Let's give it mitigation. I guess this is like the optimal wheel as well. Mitigation, physical resistance, and augmented flurry of blows. I do think that one can be really, really good. There should be 30% mitigation multiplier, by the way. They haven't updated those in the wheel yet. Yeah, internet outages, unfortunately. It's very service provider dependent, When I lived in my old house, I had an internet provider that in like 4 years of living there, I don't know if it was a single outage, right? But I've moved here, and in the sort of 4 or 5 years that I've lived here now, I've changed internet providers like 3 or 4 times. That's just not reliable enough. It's bullshit. And then now I've just given up, and I just use my phone as a secondary internet. How do you feel that Sanctuary could be improved for one kiting gameplay? It's not going to be changed. I think it's actually all right. It is before they added this, it wasn't good enough. Just that the one SQM part of it wasn't good enough. Now they've added basically this flat 10% damage increase when hitting adjacent targets. That's on all the time. Now you can play around it. And, the one SQM, it lasts 5 seconds, which means it lasts for 2 attacks only, right? So it's not actually that bad. You're kiting. You do your spender, and you just stay there for 2 more attacks. You can go like enlarged flurry of blows, 1,000 fizz blows on yourself, which is like a big AoE attack, and then you keep running for another 2 or 3 turns, right? It's not as bad as it sounds. Especially considering that you just have this permanent 10% damage increase against adjacent targets. So I think it's probably good enough to try it out at the very least now. Mitigation strongest on EK? Yes, the mitigation gems I expect will be the strongest for EK's paladins and monks, definitely. And honestly, probably for the mages. Now with the barrier, they don't care that much. Right, yeah, for mages as well. Mages no longer care about the HP pool now that they have this buffer, right? So flat HP stonks down big time, right? Mitigation multiplier, or you could still go for like fire, earth, energy resistance, etc., depending on what spot you're hunting, right? That's still going to be fine. But mitigation multiplier is probably the most versatile one that will work basically everywhere. How does this combo with the focus spells? Sanctuary. I imagine it doesn't stack. I imagine you don't get 2 fields on the same SQM. I imagine it just refreshes the timer on the SQM. So I don't think it really matters too much. Paladin users now? No, Paladin will be fine. I mean, look, we've only had like 2 days of testing. I think there's still going to be some changes, right? We're still going to have some changes, but yeah, Paladin feels like it's going to feel very good. Can you expand on how you set up a double internet connection? You need, let me go on. Let me open up YouTube chat. I think the command should work on YouTube too. Let me see if the bot works on YouTube. There it is. You can look up that application. I use exit lag, and so I have my phone. I have it connected through a USB cable to my computer, and in the phone I have a hotspot enabled. And so I just have 2 internet connections, and then via exit lag, the application, you can select which internet you want to use as multi-internet. And then you just make sure to log in to Tibia while this is active, and you have 2 internet connections. And you can test it, right? You can be in Tibia and you can disconnect your main internet connection and see that you can still move, right? So you pay for it. Yeah, I pay for it. Yeah, of course. It costs, I don't remember how much it costs. I think it's like 50 euros a year or something. Worth it for me. For me, even more so because of streaming, right? Like losing internet connection when I'm streaming is like a just massive straight up financial hit, like for viewership and stuff. So having dual internet is a necessity for Tibia, but also for streaming. What do you think of Sanctuary and Outburst? I don't know how you really fit it. I think what you could do is you could go for this kind of wheel. And you could replace this gem with like Revelation Mastery for Spiritual Outburst. Stick 25 points in here. And this is only 750 points. 750 points, and you can have T1 Outburst plus I guess even 700 points only. And you can have T1 Outburst and Sanctuary. Could be interesting. Speedify. I didn't like Speedify. I used Speedify actually. I even bought the subscription for Speedify. But I felt the lag in Tibia and Speedify. So I used Speedify and I would log in and I felt the ping. There was like a little delay. It was almost like I was connected through like a virtual machine or something. There was like my ping went from like 50 to like 150 and I could feel it, you know? I could feel that it wasn't fluid, it wasn't instant. So I canceled my Speedify subscription. When exit lag, you don't feel it. Yes, you should go for low blow T2. Nugled. Okay, Gummy. Thank you. Thanks for leaving a comment. This wheel work for Team Hunt? I don't think there are any like non-Team Hunt wheels really for the monk. Everything, as if you're a monk, anything works for Team Hunt, I think. Ascetic is fine, Outburst is fine, Sanctuary is fine, Flurry of Blows is fine. Monk's playstyle is fine in solo and Team Hunt. The only thing is this Guiding Presence, right? Is this one top left? This one not, I don't know, feels not so good, you know? So Samu, if you run the numbers, so you say 20%, all right, for mitigation. It's actually going to be 30% because you're going to have it upgraded, right? So it's going to be 20% base, which goes into 30% upgraded, and 30% of 2% is 0.6% damage reduction for everything, right? Basically. So a mitigation gem just gives you a flat 0.6% damage reduction against physical, against death, against holy, against earth, fire, ice, energy. Is the most versatile gem you're going to have, right? Of course, if you're hunting, I don't know, Winter Court, ice gems will probably still win out, but mitigation is far and away the most versatile one that you're going to be able to stick in everywhere. Yeah, basically, there you go. Could you create a level 800 monk wheel with a full ascetic gem? Well, depends if you're talking right now or after the update. Right now, you would just go like this, right? Obviously, this, you stick the ascetic gem in here. Bam, finished. 725 points. And then if you've got some left over, you can just go into get the smaller gems here. Very easy, very simple. This is the wheel you'd run right now at level 800 with an ascetic gem. And then you get T2 Outburst, T2 Chain, T1 Ascetic. Very comfy. Rest in peace. Resubscribe for 2 months. Thank you very much. I've only just noticed that. I didn't hear that. Did that make a sound? Hang on, let me just replay that because I feel like I didn't hear it. It did make a sound. Okay, maybe my headset, my speakers are too quiet. You asked a question. Let me see. Is RP back? Been trying to convince my friend changes will be fine, but he said you need to micro adjust constantly and it's going to kill EXP. It's bullshit. It's totally okay. First of all, the changes aren't final and they can change. They can totally still tweak the spells and stuff. RP is going to be totally fine. The micro adjustments that he's talking about, you don't even really have to do it. It's like a minor change. He's talking about changing the target in a box for diamond arrow coverage versus barrage coverage, but it's no different than now. If you're a good paladin now, you're changing your target every 2 seconds anyway, right? You should be. So I don't really see that anything's changing. Is there any new post? No, they said basically that's it. They've closed the test phase. There's going to be nothing until Tuesday. Hi, Cafoy. In which level do you suggest invest in revealing the big gems? Basically, as soon as you can. As soon as you can. The earliest you can get a greater gem is 475 points. And that's when you should have a greater gem because they are the best thing you can get in the wheel. So that's what, level 500 or so, right? Now with the weeklies and with the 10 points from the quest, probably around level 500, you're going to have this. What greater should I go for? Well, I would probably... It's gonna depend, right? There's a few graters which are good. There's good. I can't, unfortunately, on stream you're not seeing the drop down when I open it for some reason. But some of the best ones are Ascetic Mastery and Spiritual Outburst Mastery because those are the two best revelation perks. So getting Ascetic Mastery is very good. Getting Spiritual Outburst Mastery is good as well. Other than that, we expect that augmented Flurry of Blows base damage is going to be good. And the other one that I have right now is augmented Sweeping Takedown base damage. And I still think that one will be very good. I don't know if it's going to be better than augmented Flurry of Blows. I think if Flurry of Blows is the default builder after rebalance, then probably that is the one that is going to be best. Level 500 got Sweeping Takedown gem. That's nice. Yep. Same, right? I opened one greater gem on Real Tibia and it was the Sweeping Takedown base damage. It was very good. Still using it. What would you recommend for a 340 monk? I mean, there's not much you can go for. You go bam, 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 and I don't know, 50 points. Doesn't really matter which one because they're all mitigation, so whatever. There you go. This is what you should have as a monk with 240 points, 250 points, T1 ascetic. Make sure to pick up the gem slot, stick like hit points or something in it. That's it. This is like level 250 points wheel. If you've got 300 points, then you can just fill that one out or whatever. Not able to post on forum. Yeah, well, it's disabled now. The forum is closed, so yeah, nobody can post. Waves on mouse point. Yes, I would like that too. I suggested it. When did I suggest this? I suggested it in like I don't know, either the winter update or something. But yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, it was winter update. I suggested it because they added the cast on cursor for runes, right? And I said, hell, make it enhance the auto aim where instead of casting at casting at target, you cast at cursor, right? So you could move your mouse around and cast in that direction. And yes, I agree. I think that sounds like a very simple implementation for Tipsoft to do, and I totally think they should do it, but they didn't go for it. I don't know why. Hey, Trabo. The characters automatically turn to your mouse all of the time. That would be too crazy. When I was doing my game development, which I'm gonna come back to soon, TM, I'm sure. I had that where the character would turn towards your mouse, and it looked really crazy, right? Think about how fast you can turn with Control WASD now, and multiply that by like 100. Just spinning your mouse around. It looks too insane, and it's probably it's going to probably overload the server as well with like 50 commands a second to turn your character and stuff. So I don't think they're ever really gonna do that. Okay, too many questions about wheels and gems right now. We want to do a little bit of theory crafting for after the rebalance. Okay, right now on live. Okay, quick summary of what you do on live right now. Okay, and then no more questions about live gems and wheels until you can get T2 chain, which requires 625 points. So this is around level 650, 660, whatever. Until this point, you just go with T2 ascetic. And once you can do this, you go with T2 chain and T2 outburst. Okay. Those are your two wheels on live right now. And then other than that, you just, you add some smaller gems here and here for some, if you have some leftover points, etc. But nothing fancy. Okay. Is that the updated wheel? Yes, this is the updated. I mean, what I just talked about is the current live version of the wheel. But yes, this is the updated wheel. We are on the test server on the testtibia.com. So this is the updated wheels. Yeah. So if you look at like not all the changes, like for example, they haven't yet switched the strong ice wave perks on the Druid, for example. So this is like the week 1 changes, right? But it's more or less close to what it's going to be. What virtue you use from now on, that will depend on the rotation. We shall see. I don't know. Yeah, the Exori min changes are pretty huge. It's actually going to hit almost as hard as Exori Gran. The thing is, T2 min is a big investment, right? To get T2 min and actually get the 5 hits, you need 625 points in here. Now, it's not too bad because this is the Executioner's Throw wheel, which is pretty good, right? Executioner's Throw is good. But it's still an investment, right? It's still an opportunity cost. You still give up Exori Mass, which might still be good. But you can easily pick it up here. But then again, that's even more points, right? Yeah, I mean, I think the 5 targets hit is pretty good. You may need to alter your playstyle a little bit. Maybe you'll be doing Exori Min while kiting, right? While kiting, you only have like 3 to 6 monsters around you at any time, and then Exori Min is good. Once you're in the box, you switch to use an Exori Mass, right? Instead of Exori Min. I don't know. Shall see. Make the new monk spell be on cursor. I mean that would be good for Team Hunt, and I can see it. I can see how that would be good for Team Hunt, and you can have a close target selected with your melee, but cast it far away. Yeah, maybe. Israel tests. Yeah, maybe that's. But the thing is, though, they need to provide some way to edit spells so that you can choose how you like it, right? They should build in. When you're in Tibia, when you're in game, each spell has like this edit spell button, right? I feel like they should add some options here, like use on target, use on self, use on cursor, right? Just like how runes have it, right? If you go on runes, you should have this kind of option, I think, for spells as well, and that would solve all the problems, right? Everybody could choose how they want to use a particular spell. Hell, I hope they do that. Actually, I never really thought of it. Thank you for the suggestion. I think that would be awesome, right? To have this kind of menu for spells. Wouldn't be useful for all spells, but for shit like Thousand Fist Blows, it would be really good, right? You could either use it on target, or if you're team hunting, you'd probably use that cursor position. If you're boxing, you could use on yourself or whatever. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, maybe. And same for grenade, right? You could have this for grenade on Paladin. Some people like it on cursor, some people like it on self, some people like it on target. It would be really good if they gave us the option, right? Do you know how does Mage Barrier interact with Gift of Life? I mean, I haven't tested it. My assumption is that Gift of Life triggers once you would die from the barrier, right? So you get, because Gift of Life triggers when you would get 0 health, and I imagine the barrier buffer takes precedence over Gift of Life. So you drop to 1 health, then buffer triggers, and if buffer runs out and you would die, then Gift of Life triggers, right? Doesn't make sense any other way. So I'm sure it's 100% sure it's going to be like that. Give us back bigger runes on ED. Not happening. I'm sorry. Wasn't Chain Penance an OP spell? It was nerfed like 3 times though. Now, with 2 similar spells for Druid, isn't it a really good spell? No, because it doesn't chain. It forks. It's different. Let me get paint out again. I know you all love good old paint. I know you do. I know you all love it. Let's get paint out. The reason why fork in a current implementation is problematic is because of how the logic works, right? So with the chain, imagine a situation, right? Let me just do a circle, so it'll be easier. Imagine each circle is a monster, right? If you have a chain and you hit this target, the first target is just going to jump from one. Let me choose a different color. It just jumps from this one to this one, 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 whatever. It just hits all the targets, basically. It just jumps between them all, right? It's great. The fork doesn't chain between targets. It spreads from the initial target. So if you were to cast fork and you cast it on the first target here, it would jump to this one. And depending on its jump range, it would maybe jump to this one, and that's it. It would hit those 3 targets, right? If there were some other targets here, 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 and here, then it would jump to those as well. But the point is, it's a lot harder to hit multiple targets with the fork than it is with the chain, unless the jump range is very, very high for the fork. And in this situation, the way the fork works, imagine killing, you have to have monsters very closely clumped together for the fork to work. And then it's fine. Then it would be a great spell. If you have monsters, if you have monsters like this, right? Super density, whatever, and you use fork on like this one, then it's great. It's going to be really good damage, feel really fun to use. But in what world do you have monsters like this when you're solo hunting? Fork probably will be all right for team hunting. I don't think it's going to be a problem, especially now that they increased the jump range. It's going to hit the whole box, no problem. When the hell do you have a situation like this when you're solo hunting? Never. And not to make it worse, you've got ranged monsters, right, which never clump together. You're hunting Ingol, right? If you're hunting Ingol, they are a solo druid hunting Ingol, you'll probably have like, okay, so say this is the druid, right? He's chitin. He's the one in red. You'll have like a couple of monsters here, a couple of monsters here, and then you'll have like a couple of monsters here, like distance ones. Maybe you'll have another distant monster somewhere here, distance monster over here. How the hell do you use fork on this, right? how the hell do you effectively use fork? You maybe hit, I don't know, you hit this one with fork, and yeah, maybe it'll spread and hit this one, spread and hit this one, and that's it. It hits 3 creatures, right? You're never going to be able to kill those distance ones, right? With the chain, right? It's still not great with the chain always. That's why people complain about the chain as well. But if you hit this one with the chain, maybe it'll jump to this one, maybe it'll jump to this one, then maybe it'll jump to this one, right? Depending on the distances. Maybe it's not going to be too bad, right? Or hell, if you hit the chain, maybe you'll hit this one here, right? And then it'll jump here, jump here, jump here, jump here, jump here, jump here. Maybe, right? You get the idea. Chain has a higher likelihood of hitting monsters that are more spread out. Fork, if the fork is going to be good, you have to have monsters like clumped in like a tiny, tiny little box, basically, which is never going to happen for solo druids. What is the cast range for fork spells? Cast range is high. Cast range is like 7. You can cast them from like halfway across the map, right? So you can't hit the harpies with the fork. It's just there's not going to be anything around them. The jump range, they say, is 4. I don't know what that means exactly. Let me just get this out. So I think now the jump range is, let's see, so they've increased it by 1. Previously, if you had a monster here, it would fork 2 SQM. So it would fork here, 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 and I guess one more. I don't have enough. Hang on. Guess we have to extend this, an extra one. So theoretically, I think this is as far as it would. Well, maybe it forks a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know, dude. And now they've increased it by 1. So I guess if they increased it by further 1, maybe it's going to be big enough. I think. Have I ever thought about being an artist, dude? All the time. Honestly, all the time. I feel like I missed my calling for sure. I for sure should have been an artist. Sidestep is counted as 2 steps. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. The point is they did increase the fork. They did increase the fork jump range, or they're planning to increase it for the next stage. So I'm going to play around with it, and I'm sure it's going to be better. But I think it's going to be better for melee creatures only. Like, I think this new jump range that they're saying, I think it's going to be fine for melee creatures. So I don't know, if you go hunt Winter Court or Summer Court, the new fork will probably be fine, but they're still going to be more unusable for like Ingol, for Mega Dragons, for ranged shit, right? Solo Druid will be dead for ranged respawns. When can we expect the changes to be pushed live? Let's have a look. Give me a calendar. Where are we? We're in May now, right? So the next changes are going live on the 12th and the 13th. This is going to be the next change test. So the question is if they're going to make some more changes, right? I think there's 2 windows, right? If the second if people are happy with the second set of changes and they don't need to make any more tweaks, I think it's possible that they release on the 19th, 20th. That is the 19th, 20th is the absolute earliest possible date. I really hope it's not this week, because I'm away these days. I'm going away on holiday 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. So I'm going to be very sad if it releases on the 19th or 20th, because I'm gonna miss out. Gonna miss out on that sweet streaming revenue for the rebalance hitting live. You know, sad times. On the other hand, I have this week here, 25th to the 31st of May. I have it off work. I have holidays. I'm going to stay at home. So I really hope it's going to be the 26th or the 27th of May, because then I actually have vacation. So I'm going to be streaming big time. And honestly, if I had to predict, I would indeed predict that it's probably going to be the 26th or 27th. So we have these 2 more days next week. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to be ready for 19th, 20th, right? I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. I feel like they're going to have some changes to make. and it seems like it's going to be too early and untested on the 19th and 20th. Right? They like updates on Tuesdays, Wednesdays normally. So my prediction is 26th, 27th. I don't think it's going to be much later. I guess it could be the second or third. I don't think so. I'm pretty confident it's going to be like 26th, I think, which for me is perfect because, like I just said, I have this week off work anyway, so I could do a lot of streaming then. So I'm gonna guess the 26th of May. So many people that like that fork won't play ED for long. I mean, it depends on how it ends, right? It's not finished yet. And they increased it already. If they increase this jump range by one more, I think it's going to be fine. Or just they should increase the number of targets hit as well. And potentially Druid just won't be able to hunt ranged monsters, right? No more Azalon. No, sorry, no more Nimisat. No more Ingol. Kind of sucks, but maybe on Ingol you just won't be using the forks. Who knows? Do MS has the same issues as ED? No. He doesn't have this fork mechanic. He just has these big ass waves, right? He's got his fire wave, his enlarged energy wave through the wheel. He's got this echo blast, which is going to be 5x5 area twice. It's going to be fine. Sorcerer is going to be fine, I think. Druid is more problematic, right? I mean, Sorcerer is it's still hard for sorcerers to kill ranged monsters. Like, it's still going to be hard to kill ranged monsters in Ingol and stuff. But I think they can probably do it easier than Druids. New size of the AoE will be 5x5. Yep. You think raw experience is going to increase very much? I don't think raw experience is likely to increase for any vocation, like on average. I don't know. Maybe EK's raw experience will increase a little bit. Maybe Monk's raw experience will increase a little bit, depending on whether the new Flurry of Blows is actually much better. Sorcerer's experience will increase at a few respawns where waves work really well and they can really make good use of them. On other respawns, they'll be worse. Druids, kind of similar. Druids probably will be a little bit worse off. Paladins, some respawns they'll be better, some respawns they'll be worse. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit all over the place. I don't think it's going to be like drastically going down. I think there's going to be a little adjustment, right, in certain respawns. Remove distance fighting monsters. People hate it anyway. Agreed. I hate distance monsters. It's just a balancing thing, though, right? But yeah, I agree. You know what? I think they should just remove distance monsters that have like a long range. Like shit like harpies and kind of ostriches with like massive range should be removed. They should give distance range like a foam stalker. I think they have like range 2. Or like the Mitma Scout or whatever. I think they also have range 2. Like low range, low distance range, I think would be fine. Just leave it like that. XP for Falcons will probably be better for MS. Yes, I think so. I'd think place like Falcons where you can really like use your waves when you have a nice open area with high density that waves can really smack. Yeah, I think Falcons, for example, would be a respawn where the experience increases. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a square rune? Yeah, it's going to be a square rune, right? They said it's going to be a 5x5 rune. So yeah, it's going to be a square rune. Which by the way, I think is going to be very hard to get used to. I think it's going to look very weird. Already when I was using this Death Echo on the Sorcerer, already felt weird as hell. I don't know. Something about just a straight up square just doesn't feel right, you know? I don't know. It's very artificial. It doesn't seem, I don't know why. It just feels weird to use a square spell. We just never had that. We always had like roundish spells and abilities in Tibia. And a square just feels weird. Could it also not become a diamond? I don't think so. What, added 4 extra squares for 25 squares? Do you think they'll rotate them? I don't know. The fact that they're making their sorcerer spell a square, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they will rotate it. Maybe they'll rotate it and it'll be It'll be like a mate. Oh, hang on. It's paint. It's paint time. Paint time, baby. So this would be the square, right? This this is what a 5x5 rune would look if they don't rotate it, right? It's just a straight up box, right? It's very weird. It's very weird. What if so you say they could do it like a diamond? How would that work? Hang on. I need to visualize it. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this? Is there going to be 25 squares as well? Oh God, this is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to witness this. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Oh God, it's not very straight. It's not straight at all. Don't mind that. Don't mind the unstraight lines, please. Oh my God, it's horrible. So how many squares? How many squares is this? Let me count. 1, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 1. So that's 4, 9. This would be 25 as well, right? Okay, you're right. This would be 25 as well. This is 25. Okay, they'll probably be this size then. You're right. This is probably how it'll be. It probably won't be a box. 24, is it? 9, 9, 18 plus... No. 9 and 9 is 18 plus 7 is 25, no? Why is it so hard to use Alt and drag? I don't know what that is. Is that some hotkey I'm not familiar with? Perhaps. Yeah, okay, you're right. I think this is probably how it'll be. So this is probably gonna like this looks a lot better for a rune than this box. So yeah, you're probably right. This will probably be 5x5. How is this 5x5? Well, they didn't say 5x5, did they? They said hang on. They said that the area is increasing by 4 squares for a total of 25 squares. They didn't say 5x5. The 5x5 is the Death Echo. This is different. 5x5 is the Death Echo, and that'll be just a box by box. But yeah, but the rune is just 25 squares, so it probably will actually be this this, right? Which looks better. Why don't Tibia make Paladin not be able to interrupt the auto attacks? They want it to be a little bit of skill expression. Still a square only rotated. I guess. It looks different though in the perspective of Tibia, no? Never mind the haters, that looks perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. All right. What else do we want to look at? Do you just want to do a bounty and play some Tibia? Let me see if I can get a better bounty. Let me see if I can get a better bounty. Okay, I don't want to do this bronze 5-9 5-8-3 Dragalisk. Let's do a bit of Gamba real quick. Let's do a bit of Gamba real quick, see if I get something better. Nah. Not bad. Some good monsters, but nah. 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 Silver Basham is not too bad, but nah. Go on, give me something actually good, please. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Well, this is a good roll. Not Lamassu, obviously, but gold, rear guard, and silver Yapinach. Silver Yapinach is really good. 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably do the Yapinach, right? Not sure if I want to do it now, though. Not sure if I want to do it now. But yeah, good to know that I'll have that. Why don't Tibia make Paladin not be able to interrupt the auto attacks? Yeah, I don't know. I would be very comfortable just not be able to interrupt your auto attacks. And I would like that, but I think it does remove a little bit of the skill expression in the game. MS wheel? Yapunach, not Yapunach. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It doesn't seem like a word. So I'll pronounce it however I want. Thanks, Grime Leech. Do you have any suggestion on how meta is with the new monk wheel? I think the new monk wheel. There's two options, right? There's only two options really for the monk. It's either stays as it was, basically this T2 chain with T2 outburst, that you're sort of the default wheel that you may add some sort of gems to. And it's possible, although I hope it's not, because that's kind of boring if that's still the best wheel. And I think we're probably going to have two options. We're going to have a T2 ascetic with Flurry of Blows wheel, something like that. You've got T2 ascetic with a greater gem that you can, put in like mitigation, fizz resistance, and Flurry of Blows base damage. Something like this. 775 points, I think, is potentially very, very good. So that's around like level 800 or so. Going to be a very nice wheel, I would think. Aztec. Yapunats. Is it? Okay, I'm going to... Yapunak. Aztec. Yapunak. 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 Really? Yapunak. All right. Okay. What if you go in game and throw some GP on the ground to mark the area? That could be good, but then we'd miss out on the paint skills, so that wouldn't be that fun, would it? That'd be too easy. So yeah, I think this is a good wheel. Let me actually steal that one and copy it and save it somewhere. I think this is a good wheel. That I would almost think I'm going to be running this because I have just about enough points for this. I have how many points do I have? Let me check. I have 826 points right now. So this is probably a wheel that I'd be running. And hell, I could even pick up another gem. I could pick up this gem. That's 825. This is like a perfect wheel for my current level, 826 points. So I could have T2 Ascetic, T2 Flurry of Blows, and even an extra small gem right here. I guess I would, at that point, I would just switch to this Fist Plus in here as well. The other wheel is you can go for the Sanctuary build, which remains to be seen how good it is. And that way you would probably go for Sanctuary like this. And you have 675 points. You get Greater Gem. You can stick the Greater Gem in here. Have something like this, right? You do miss the 15% base damage in here on the Flurry of Blows. But you can, of course, try and get that by going here. But then that's 900 points, right? So this is like a level 930 wheel or something. So I don't have that many points yet. I do think it would be good when you get there, of course. Then for multi-action, we would change FOB and chain, right? Yes. And no double spenders. Yes. You just have to use Focus Serenity for double spender. Yeah. For multi-action, you could... the multi-action may change quite a bit. I think for multi-action, you might want to change it. If you were running the Sanctuary build, you may want to consider changing your rotation a little bit. I feel like it's going to depend on how the Thousand Fist blows work. But I do think that in this setup with Sanctuary, you may want to go in this wheel, you may want to go for FOB into Thousand Fist blows into FOB into GFOB into FOB into Spender. Virtue of Justice with Sanctuary, because in this off setup, you could go. You could go, because after you cast Sanctuary, you need to stay in a place for like the first 2 spells, right? So the first 2 spells after the casting the Spender, in this case that would be FOB and Thousand Fist blows. You want to be standing still, right? And Thousand Fist blows is a very, very good spell for when you're standing still or in a box, because it hits everything around you, right? If you hit it, so you cast your Spender, then you're standing still for 4 seconds, you hit with the enlarged FOB, then you cast the Thousand Fist blows for everything around you, because after 4 seconds you're surrounded, there's 8 monsters around you, you cast Thousand Fist blows, hopefully kill something off, and then you keep kiting for the other 3 spells in the rotation, right? And then you cast Spender again, and then you stop again, and you do FOB, Thousand Fist blows, etc., etc. And then your multi-action would be FOB. Then your multi-action would be FOB, DFB, GFOB, right? This would be your multi-action, and it would work. It would work that way, right? Your multi-action would be FOB, TFB, GFOB with Sanctuary, I think. I think that could work. No CP anymore. Yeah, potentially no CP. Yeah, with that wheel, potentially you'd be skipping chain penance. Why not TFB GFOB after Spender? Because how? Okay, so what then? So you cast a Thousand Fist blows and GFOB, and what then? What do you cast for the remaining 3 spells? You can't cast FOB as your last 3 spells, right? You can't go FOB, FOB, FOB. That's the problem. That's why. You need to have a different spell in the last 3 spells. You could go FOB, chain FOB, I suppose, but then your multi-action doesn't work. Then you need a multi-action for 4 spells, right? Then it doesn't work. I don't know. I'm too lazy. I would probably just do this. Do you think wand proficiency will change? Why would wand proficiency change? You mean for runes? But all the proficiencies always mention spells and runes, no? Is there any rune-specific proficiencies? Maybe they'll change them. If not, then they're going to be much worse now. You want to try out the Quad C? Oh, you were talking about this in the Discord. I didn't properly catch what the idea there was. You think Monk now has good early mid game? Yeah. Sure. These changes I don't think these changes drastically affect Monk. I don't think they don't. I mean, Flurry of Blows, like, when's the earliest you can get Flurry of Blows? 225, right? So you need at least like level 250 before you even get this enlarged Flurry of Blows. So until 250, definitely nothing changes. But even if you were to go for T1 Flurry of Blows as your first ability, as your first sort of big wheel thingy, I don't know if you do. I don't know if you don't just go for T1 Ascetic, because then you get T1 Gift of Life or T1 Avatar with Flurry of Blows. Not very good, right? Those aren't very good revelation perks. You probably would rather have T1 Ascetic. Unless you have way more points in the wheel, I'm not sure if you bother with Flurry of Blows. Psych, I saw your message, Psych. So if I can look at your proposal. If you share a link in the chat, Psych, again, I don't know if you shared it already or not. I haven't seen it. If you reshare it, I can have a look. Quad C, FOB, GFOB into FOB into Spender on VOH. So you cast Spender at 4. And what is the main upside of that? Is it just comfort? Or is there something else to it? Is there some logic to it, Artifact? it's a nice non-aiming. It's a nice non-aiming rotation, right? It's just waves. Flurry of blows, greater flurry of blows, and sweeping takedown. They're all just waves in the same direction. So it's very comfortable. Not as bad as it seems. Yeah, I mean that does sound pretty fun. I mean, with the G-fob every 4 spells with X foot wraps. Yeah, maybe. I can maybe see it. I could maybe see it. I could try it out. Hey Kushner, where are you going to show us EXP places for Druid from level 500 to 600 and higher? It's Boulder. Thank you. Thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you. Thank you, Boulder. Can't share on Kick. Oh, sorry. When are we gonna show EXP places for Druid from level 500 to 600? What do you mean, Winter Court and Summer Court? Maybe some Asuras? I feel like I need to answer your question seriously, though, just because you left that Prime sub, so you deserve a proper response. I am not currently planning to play Druid. We will see what they do and what changes they make. In principle, I like the forks. I liked using chain on the monk, and I like the idea of forks. They just need to balance them so they're actually usable. I think they need to hit an extra target or two. They need to give us a physical fork as well as a third fork spell, so you could have a full fork rotation. And they probably need to still further increase the jump range. And sure, I'm going to give it a go, but I don't know that there's going to be level 5 to 600 Druid guides for a while yet. Unless they totally rework some stuff and make it like crazy good in the second stage of the test server, I'm not planning to play the Druid anytime soon. I'm planning to play probably Paladin first, then Sorcerer, then Knight. And then if the Druid change is looking okay, then I guess we could do Druid then, but that's like a year plus away, unfortunately. And if it's fun, if their forks are actually fun, then by all means, I'm gonna do a Druid playthrough, but it may be a little while. It's Druid's not so happy right now. It's not looking too good, I'm afraid. Do you think EK will be able to catch up with Monk on low levels, 100 to 500? I don't think so. I don't think Monk EK DPS is increasing, right? Unless Exori Min is like overtuned and crazy, but I don't think EK DPS is really increasing. They're increasing their comfort and sustainability. So I don't think the experience per hour for the EKs will change drastically. They're just going to be more comfortable and fun to play. So no, I don't think they will catch up to Monk in majority of the levels. They're just going to be more comfortable. However, I mean, level 100 to 500, you shouldn't really be complaining about the EK. I mean, EK in level like 100 to 500, that's probably like the EK strongest level range, dude. So if you think the EK is not very strong in the level 100 to 500, I suggest you change vocations before you get any further. You're only wondering, okay? Yeah, he can go to better places quicker. Yeah, he'll be able to go to quicker places, to harder places earlier, but that doesn't necessarily translate to better experience per hour. Just because I can go to like Plague Seal on a level 300 EK doesn't mean I'm actually going to do any good experience there, because I'm still capped by the damage output, which is not increasing. It's just going to mean it's just easier to play for an EK. You'll be able to maybe go like Asuras a little earlier, but you're still going to be lacking on damage, right? It's just going to be a little easier. Yeah. You talked about shield plus 1H being meta for EK. Can you talk more about why 2H is bad? No. I not that's not quite the right takeaway. Two-handed weapons will always deal significantly more damage. It depends on the weapon, but usually you can expect to do somewhere between 5 to 10% more damage using a two-handed weapon. So if you're going for experience at a spot that you are comfortable on, you will still be going for two-handed weapons. However, the one-handed plus shield makes you extremely tanky compared to the two-handed weapons, which means that if you're struggling at a spot or it's a hard spot, you go definitely with one-handed and shield to start with. Same with team hunting. I think EKs will almost certainly be like team hunting with one-handed and shield, unless they really out-level a spot. And once you're very comfortable at a spot, you will still be switching to two-handers. Do you think they will ever increase RP healing? Yeah, you're getting a new stance, right? You're getting a new stance where you're gonna have increased healing, no problem. There you go. Where is it? Here you go. Increased self-healing by 15% in Divine Defiance. And 5% dodge. Yeah, for sure. I don't really know that. This Divine Defiance, you know how this is gonna work? This is gonna work in the same way that Virtue of Sustain works for a monk right now. Like, you will use it, you know, if you're running through if you're a level 250 Paladin and you want to do solo access to like Scarlet or solo access to Oberon, you're going to run Divine Defiance. If you get yourself in an 8 box that you can't get out of, you're going to run Divine Defiance. But for regular hunting, you will never use this. Does Life Leech also count as self-healing? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they don't include leech in this or in these or in this. I think they just mean healing from spells. There's no mechanic in the game currently that reduces leech except for damage decrease, right? You deal less damage, so you leech less. But there aren't mechanics that specifically target leech. So I don't think this will include leech. Link, please. There you go. It's time to abandon your druid and start solo as a monk or RP or EK or sorcerer. Yep. Although I would just wait, Boulder. I would just wait. Like, don't go crazy just yet. Wait until next week. See the changes next week, you know? I wish that they would modify combat mastery to spread out one-handed and two-handed weapons even more. You mean some extra distinction in combat mastery? So what does combat mastery do right now? Remind me. Defense value of shields by 10, 20, 30, which, by the way, is very, very good when it comes to those new spells, which scale with the defense value of your shield. So if you have like a Lion Shield, which I believe has 40 defense, and you have tier 3 combat mastery, then your Lion Shield suddenly has 70 defense value, which is amazing for defensive purposes. But it also then means that when you cast that new slam spell, it treats it as if you had 70 attack weapon, right? Soul weapons have like 56, and your shield would have like 70 attack value. Crazy. I would wait, Boulder. I would just wait. I think it's possible that the changes that they make to the forks will make Druid still okay. But honestly, just wait another week or two. Let's see where the test server goes. MS mid-level after the update wheels. Okay, let's look at some MS wheels, to be honest. Let's reset this. They asked us for suggestions and feedback, and then at the end of the day, just implemented this stuff from dev node. Yeah, welcome to Tibia, dude. Welcome to Tibia. I think they will tweak the forks a little bit. I think they will. I have a lot of hopium. Okay, so wheels for the sorcerer, yeah. So the way that they've set up the new spells. Just let me remember. The Sorcerer Echo cooldown is 4 seconds, right? Or is it 6 seconds? It's 4 seconds, isn't it? No, it's 6 seconds, but you now have a perk -1 that's -2, right? So it's going to be Wheel of Destiny perk 1. is going to be -2 seconds. You'll be able to have it as 4 seconds. Where is that in the wheel? That's going to be here, right? This one or this one here. So, yeah, I think you probably... It'll depend how good the spell echo, the death echo actually is. But I do think that may be... It's unfortunate that it's Gift of Life and Avatar, because again, those are the two quadrants you don't really want. But I do think that if it's 4 seconds, the thing is you can make very, very easy rotations for fire and death, right? You've got 4-second Death Echo, 4-second Strong Fire Wave, and that's just the two spells that you use, and that's your rotation, right? You go Fire Wave, Death Echo, Fire Wave, Death Echo, Fire Wave, Death Echo. That's very, very comfy. And for both, that works for both fire and death masteries. So I think this may be a level 250, level 300 wheel for fire and death respawns. But if you want to do energy, you can't get away with it. For energy, you probably get Beam Mastery T1, and then you probably use Fire Wave, Energy Wave, Great Energy Beam, right? Those 3 spells. And then you want to have this Beam Mastery T1 for that, right? That's what I would expect right now. They swapped Echo and Wheel with special spells. Hang on a sec. Where did they say that? Switching the position of Death Echo and special spells. Is this special spells? Holy, so it's actually in the good ones then. So it's actually in the 2 good quadrants. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So it's going to be Death Echo is going to be either here or here. Shit, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, so forget it. Forget what I just said. No doubt whatsoever. If you're going for fire or death, rotation, level 300 sorcerer, level 290, whatever, you go this. You get tier 1 Lord of Destruction, which is really good because it buffs your masteries, right? Your elemental stances. You get T1 Death Echo cooldown reduction, so it's just 4 seconds, and then you just have a super comfy rotation of Strong Fire Wave and Death Echo. And if you're an energy stance, then you just go this, and this, right? You forget the Death Echo, probably. Well, I suppose you could. If Death Echo is really good, you could still get Death Echo T1 here instead. And then you would have a rotation of Energy Wave, Death Echo, Energy Beam. But if Death Echo is not that good, then you can just go for this and you can have Energy Wave, Fire Wave, Energy Beam, right? I think that's probably how level 300 Sorcerer looks. If we want to think a little further, like, I don't know, level 500 or so. Well, at what levels do we get this enlarged energy wave? So enlarged energy wave requires what? It's kind of like T2 Xori Mass then, yeah? Like level 500 or so. So from level 500 or 500 points, you've got T1 Gift, T1 Avatar. We've got this enlarged energy wave. Would you ever use that even in I think you never use this outside of the energy rotation though. For the energy rotation, should, by all means, right? It's good. Then you have this enlarged energy wave. But I think for fire and death rotations, you probably don't bother with this. You then go instead at level 500, you would go for like tier 2 Lord of Destruction, right? Tier 2 Lord of Destruction. Those perks, let's have a look. Grants 4, 7, 8% base fire damage for fire spells. So your fire wave would have extra, 6 or 7% damage, which is great. And your death spells would have 45 or 55 more critical damage. Shit. Yeah, exactly. Fire and death would only use fire wave and echo, so you wouldn't need the energy stuff, right? So I think you are level... But the thing is, though, if you go for this wheel here on level 500 for energy, you do lose their beam, which is a bit problematic, right? Shit. I don't know if you do that. You kind of need the beam mastery if you're in energy stance, I think. I don't think you ever use energy stance without beam mastery, right? You think live gems are skippable? Yes. I don't think you need live gems anymore on mages. I mean, they're still going to be good, I guess, on like a level. I actually don't think I would bother. I don't think if I was like a level 100 MS, sure, I'd open a few gems and whatever, but I don't think I'd be fishing specifically for HP gems. Good elemental resistances would be fine. Mitigation would be fine. I don't think HP gems are going to be that worth anymore. Don't forget you can just jump the 175 points on both ends. Sure, you could. Well, having T1 Lord of Destruction and Beam Mastery, sure, but I mean, at that point, we're talking a lot, right? We're talking a big investment here. So you could go what? But you could go like this, right? Get T1 Beam, then go like this. And then what? Go here, get this, plus Lord of Destruction too. Sure, so now you've got T1 Lord of Destruction, T1 Beam Mastery, plus the Energy Wave. That's 800 points, right? You need like level 850. So yeah, sure. By that high level, you could consider doing something like this, right? That sounds pretty fun. But that's slightly higher level than I'm used to. But yeah, if you're like level 1000 Drew Sorcerer or whatever, yeah, by all means, this could be a pretty good wheel. You're not gonna have any greater gems, but yeah. My highest tier items are 3, and I like tiering weapons and legs. But well, I did that on the monk because those are the sanguine items, which I don't think will be replaced anytime soon. Hello, Tafik. You can jump on the southeast from the magic level 1. Oh, true. You're right there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you could do that. Yes, 775. Yeah, true. Still, this is like a slightly higher level than I'm I'm really thinking about for now. I think my expectation. We're just talking about the spell echo and I think fire and death rotations. So the fire wave, death echo. My expectation is that those will feel very nice and comfortable. I'm not worried about those. I'm a little bit more concerned about the energy rotations. So because the energy rotation basically becomes right energy wave. You open up with energy wave, then you do either fire wave or death echo. Then you do energy beam, and then again you do either fire wave. Well, you guess it would have to be fire wave if you did death echo first because of the cooldown. But still, like you do have to use energy wave and energy beam, both of which are worse to use than the fire wave or the death echo, at least until you get this enlarged area for the energy wave, right? Which is, like we just said, likely, a level 800 thing. So I don't know. I think if you can use a fire mastery and if you can use a death mastery I respawn, I think the sorcerer will be pretty fine. The energy mastery will be a little more unpleasant to use, at least until higher level. At a very, very high level, if you have 4 greater gems with cooldown reduction for energy wave, and your energy wave is suddenly 4 seconds, plus it's enlarged, at that point, you're fucking laughing, right? You've got your 4-second energy wave, 4-second fire wave, and you're just blasting wherever the hell you want, right? That's going to be fun as hell. But, that's very end game. Yeah, it's good. It is good that they changed in the echo. Yeah, for sure. Echo is going to fit much better in those quadrants here. Energy wave, fire wave is 100 base power. Energy wave is 150, and beam is even more. Yeah, the thing with the beam is though, like again, you're gonna be doing that much damage with the central beam, but then it's more about like comfort and how many targets you're really hitting with the central beam. Other than that, you've just got the tier 1 damage, which is like 40%, they're saying now, right? I don't know that the energy beam is going to be doing that much damage. I don't know. Maybe. We're gonna have to test it out. I just know that rotation of Fire Wave into Death Echo is definitely going to be comfortable and fairly easy. I think Death Echo specifically, if it's a 5x5 box, is going to be very easy to use. We'll have to test it. I think that's going to be one that's going to feel comfortable. It might still be better to use the energy spells because the energy spells do hit harder, but they hit harder because it's harder to aim them and harder to make use of them, right? It's a trade-off. At what level is it worth to start investing in large gems? That depends on your vocation. For example, as a monk and a paladin, you almost certainly want to get them as soon as possible, right? Actually, let's have a look at the paladin wheels now real quick. I kind of want to have a think because, so let's see. Okay, that's actually an interesting point. As a monk, you want to get a greater gem as soon as you can, which is like level 500. As an EK, probably as well now. You probably don't need the only thing that stopped EKs from getting a greater gem as soon as they could was the fact that they like to get in this Exori mass. But I think you can maybe get away without having it nowadays. So maybe on EK, you probably want to get a greater gem as soon as possible as well. For a paladin, though, like I wonder if Divine Grenade is still going to be good. Now that you have the second Holy Spell, so you can have Holy Spell into Holy Spell, I wonder if Divine Grenade just not good, right? And if Divine Grenade is not good, then what do you go for? Do you go for T2 Carpet on level 500? Do you go something like this? Is this a 500 point Paladin wheel? And in which case, yeah, you would go for Greater Gem straight away. What would you go for? What perk would you go for here now? Mass San base damage. Augmented Salvation healing. Yeah. Call it Mass San base damage because it's simple. Like this could be like a level 500 Paladin wheel now, right? Why Divine Grenade's bad? It's not that it's bad, but you now by default have two Holy Spells. On the other hand, though, you do want to go for the new Holy Spell. Shit, you're right. So, okay, so I think this is definitely the build you go for in the scenarios where Holy isn't that good. So if Holy isn't that good, you don't need the grenade, and you're going to be using Ethereal Barrage anyway. So you go for this. You have T2 Gem. You have T2 Carpet plus Greater Gem plus use the physical barrage. But if Holy is good, I guess you go for this, right? And again, you're kind of in this awkward spot where you get Avatar and Gift of Life, which you don't really care about all that much. But the bonuses of this Divine Barrage, 10% base damage. Well, the 10% base damage is very good, but the 5% mana leech, not that good, is it? Maybe you just go. Maybe you just do this, and then you just pick up this, right, for extra 100 points. So this is a 600 point wheel, so like level 650. Yeah, you get T2 Carpet, and you get the 10% base damage for Divine Barrage, right? Wheel for level 2600 ED. Maybe in a week we'll have a look. I don't know. Not from me. How'd you get the test server Wheel of Destiny planner? You just go on the test server website. You just go on the test server website and just open up the wheel planner there. If anybody wants the test server planner, there you go. You get it in chat now. Any idea for post rebalance rotation wheel stance on 1150 Monk for Team Hunt? Yeah, you probably go for Sanctuary and Flurry of Blows. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. You probably want to go Sanctuary, T2 Flurry of Blows. and Flurry of Blows base damage gem. That's what it feels like right now. Yes, Nyada's. It was weird what Nyada's did. Like I didn't even read that bit. It's very weird. Like, look at this. I didn't even read this because I thought this was just like some garbage intro text. So I just ignored it and I just looked at the changes. But look at this here. However, tomorrow I'll add additional plan changes based on your feedback. He said this shit on Wednesday afternoon, right? And then didn't post anything. So yeah, baited. What is the best lesser gem now? Mitigation multiplier. Mitigation multiplier is the best versatile gem. So if you just want to have one gem, slot it in and forget, then yes, the lesser gem mitigation is probably best. If you are like super try hard, then having elemental gems probably slightly better for a number of respawns, but then you need to, switch them every time you switch a spot to apply the right elemental gem. For whatever you're hunting. But mitigation multiplier is likely the best sort of versatile overall gem. Could you show what a wheel for 500 Monk would look like? It's not going to be any different than now. It's just going to be tier 2 Ascetic. I don't think that's going to change much. Maybe you'll go for T2 Flurry of Blows. I'm not so sure. I think you just go for T2 Ascetic still. Mass Sand base instead of the T2 Mana Leech. I'm not sure what this is about. What do you mean Sanctuary for Monk Wheel? Oh, you don't even know what Sanctuary is. Is that right? So Sanctuary is this, bottom right. Let me reset this. So T2 Monk Wheel. Level, like you said, level 1,150, right? Let me see. So you have, how many points do you have? 1,150. You probably have 1,100 points, right? Your wheel probably will look something like this. Let's see. How many points do you have? That's 1,000 points. Get another 25 in here. Yeah, like this, right? 1,000, yeah. So you get T2 greater gem. You get greater gem in the bottom right. So here you'll go for whatever. I guess the key is Flurry of Blows base damage. In the bottom left, you just get T1 Ascetic plus a medium gem, I suppose, because you probably don't have enough points. You'll want to pick up a greater gem in here eventually, and you get the tier 2 Flurry of Blows from here. So this is probably a link, something like this, that I would run on level 1,100 Monk after rebalance. I obviously fix this gem because this gem is no good, but yeah. Hello, Christian. How you doing? The crypt bow is the same price as Soul Bleed in my server. Which one do you think is better after the RP changes? I think the crypt bow is better. In fact, I already put a buy offer for a crypt bow on my Paladin in anticipation. Can MS still throw intense healing runes for emergencies? I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know. Maybe. I didn't check. Luckily, EK wheel is very easy. You just go for amp core. Except if you're using one-handers. I think if you're using one-handers with a shield, you go for combat mastery now. Big E-wave is most likely best in slot for all builds. Yeah, but you just need a lot more. You need more points than what we were talking about. And it's just going to be kind of clunky without beam mastery. Yeah, once you're like level 800, yeah, you'll probably go for big E-wave with beam mastery. I mean, that's definitely going to be your energy rotation, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to really mix up your rotation and use like energy spells in a fire rotation. I suppose you could go like fire wave, energy beam. I suppose you could still do that. Less comfortable than Death Echo though, so we'll have to see if that's any good. How much gold do you have? A lot. I don't know. I had like 90,000 Tibia coins the other week, so I'm trying to sell it off, and yeah, buy full best in slot for the Paladin right now. Never played the Sanctuary because yes, Yes, yes. So you may need to adjust your playstyle. They've added a new thing. This is why Sanctuary is good now. Agneto Potato. Agneto Potato. Your damage and healing with attacks, spells, and runes is increased by 10% when hitting adjacent targets. This is really good now. I don't know how good it is in team hunts, but it's pretty good, I think. I still imagine you've got at least 3-4 targets around you. 10% damage is a lot, right? Obviously, it's a lot, even if you only for a few targets. And that's on all the time. That's on all times. As long as you have Sanctuary allocated, you just have a straight up 10% damage increase against all adjacent targets. And then, of course, you have this extra bit about this one field for 5 seconds. But you can almost ignore that. You can almost ignore if you can stand in it. If you're in a box and you're standing still, sure, you get benefit from it. But this is really good as well. This is just straight up on all the time. Dipsoft hates runes. Yeah, I mean, I think players generally hate runes as well. Of course, not everybody, but I can say that I hate runes. I really hate using runes, especially on Paladin. I always hated using runes. On mages, when you're just running around throwing runes, they don't feel so bad, but they feel really bad on Paladin, where they really interact badly with your diamond arrows. So I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see runes being relegated to, alternative use case. You missed that? Yeah. So you don't need to stay on the SQM it creates. So now basically Sanctuary has 2 parts to it, right? It has this permanent buff that you just get against adjacent targets, and it has that one field that lasts for 5 seconds after you cast a spender. And it's still good if you can make use of it. Of course, it's a double part ability, so if you can make use of both parts, that's great. But if you don't stand in that field, you just ignore this part, you still do get this 10% damage bonus against adjacent targets, which is still, even by itself, pretty strong. Can I get your opinion about my wheel on Druid 690? I don't feel like an expert on a Druid wheel at the moment, to be honest. I mean, let me just have a quick look on Druid wheels. What I expect will probably be good. So they switch in the Ice Wave. Yeah, I swear you just go for Ulus, right? If you're a 690 Druid, what, you just go, you do this, no? This is 500 points. You get T2 Ulus. You get the Ice Wave. Tier 1, minus 2 second cooldown. No, you wouldn't. It's going to switch with the heal friend, right? So you want this. You'll want this, which just will give you the strong Ice Wave cooldown reduction. And then you probably just aim to get this, right? 725 points. And then you've got T2 strong Ice Wave, T2 Ulus. I don't think there's going to be that much variety for the Druid. Everyone's just going to be going bottom left, I think. Mine now. This is your wheel now on live. Well, I don't really think you need Gift of Life after the rebalance. I don't think you need any of this. I mean, all you get is you get the Terror Wave base damage, but you can instead just go like this, right? You can get that. I don't think so. So how many points do you have? Let me just reset how many points do you have? So you have 668 points. I think after the rebalance, you're just short on this one, unfortunately. You need 725. So in about 50 levels, I would probably go for this. Unless ice isn't a good element. If ice isn't a good element, then I guess you don't need these points here. And you don't need these. If ice isn't good at the respawn that you're hunting, if you're hunting Ice Library, then you probably still want T2 Ulus for the Earth Ulus. And then you maybe grab Earth Wave here at 600 points. And then maybe you start building towards the second Earth Wave here or something. Or maybe the Sio or the Mass Healing here. Something like this, 700 points for a team hunting spot where ice isn't good. Something like this. I imagine. The HP gems are not needed anymore either, Jamri. The HP gems not necessary after the rebalance. Am I late for the night wheel? Nah. I mean, we just talking about random stuff. Already time to upgrade the mitigation gem. I would wait until after the rebalance. If the gems are in the same state that they are currently proposing, the 30% mitigation multiplier once upgraded, yes, I think you probably want to wait until after the rebalance, but then upgrade them. Yeah. How do I get the wheel of the rebalance? You need to go on the test.tibia.com, and then you've got the wheel updated there. There you go. How would you calculate the mitigation now with the new gems? So mitigation multiplier 30%, right? If you can just check your mitigation in the client, right? If you have 2% mitigation, that means each new mitigation gem is going to give you a 0.6% flat damage reduction against everything, which is very good. A lot of things changing, difficult to get a big picture, yeah? Yeah. Sure. You don't want to upgrade Sai or Masters in a team hunt. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be my priority. Wouldn't be my priority. You mostly want the are the gems, the greater gems, any good for druids? I know you can't see it because it doesn't come up when I expand it, but I'm just having a quick look. They don't seem that crazy. Seem alright, nothing special. Agree, disagree that the 5 SQM Xori men should be the first wheel unlock instead of second. Sure. Sure, I can agree with that. And then 40% base damage on the second one. So you have the functionality and the usability behind upgrade 1, and then you've got the damage. Yeah, yeah, sure, Letiso. I think that's fair. You're not really going to be using Xori free SQM. Well, the 40% base damage being the first one is better for low levels like bossing, right? 40% base damage on the Xori min would be amazing for, like, you know, low level bosses, like going for Tamira level 300 or whatever. But sure, for hunting, you want the size first probably, and second you want the base damage. On the other hand, if you think about it, going from 3 to 5 SQM is at the very most a 66% damage increase. And that's only if you hit all the 5 targets, right? I don't think it's necessarily the case, right? So if you go on, the paint is coming out, I know you want it. So if you're the EK, right, and you've got Xorimin here, right, with 40% base damage, that is just a straight up 40% damage increase, assuming you hit all 3 targets. Now, if you go with the 5 thingy, and you hit those 2 targets as well, if you had hit both of them, then that's a 66% damage increase because you hit 5 targets. If you hit one only, so if you only hit like this, that's a 33% damage increase. It's already worse than the 40% base damage that you can have for the 3 targets. So you would have to be consistently every time hitting all 5 targets, which if you're in a box, of course you will, but across a 1 hour hunt, I don't know that you would always hit 5 targets, right? So I don't know. I don't think it matters that much, actually. There are also charm procs. Sure, but it's a very small part. I don't know. I don't think it's like a huge difference either way. It's better. It's definitely the extra base damage, though, is better for bossing, right? A lot of low-level knights like to pretend to be monks and hung walls. Hey, Mirius. I don't know what tips off said about Xori Mask. They will replace first perks to cooldown reduction. Yes, they basically said they will switch the Xori Mask perks here. The first one will be minus 2 seconds cooldown. The second one will be 12.5% base damage. So you can go for like, you can go for like T1 Executioner's Throw, right? You can get T1 Executioner's Throw at level 300. And then you can get 100 points in Exori Mass. So 350 points. And you can have T1 Executioner's Throw and a 6-second Exori Mass, right? For example. I don't know about a wheel for 1,200 Druid, sorry. You probably want Ulus, and then I don't know what else is good. Maybe one day Sorcerer get an updated wheel on the test site? Yeah, on Tuesday. I don't get why Tipsoft is trying so hard to make Exori Min into a thing. Well, they are kind of giving up, right? In a way. Look at this. Front sweep. Before ditching this spell completely, I mean, I was really surprised to hear this wording, to read this wording, because this is basically them saying they're ready to get rid of it. If these changes aren't good enough, it seems like they're just going to get rid of front sweep and change it to something else completely. So I feel like they're finally accepting that people don't really like it. If they ditch that spell completely, what would they do with the equipment that have bonuses to it? That's why they're not going to ditch it. Too much work. Too much work to change the augments and the equipment and stuff. They're not going to ditch it. It'll just end up being like something like this. I don't think they will ditch it. With fully upgraded gem, Exori Min will have the same base power as Grand Eco. Okay. I didn't know there was an Exori Min gem, actually. I never really looked into them. Let me have a look. Where's, let me see. Front sweep, 12% base damage. Shit. Yeah, you're right. Obviously, nobody ever uses that now, which is why I probably never really heard of it. That's interesting. Interesting. Would you take that over Fierce Berserk base damage, though? Probably not. If front sweep had a 4-second cooldown like regular Exori, then maybe there would be a build where that would focus on front sweep. But if you cast it as often as Exori Grand, you're probably never going to go for this. And do keep in mind that this 12% base damage that you get from this wouldn't scale with that 40% base damage you already have from the wheel, right? This would only be multiplying the base damage, which is not that high. Still, though, yeah, interesting. Could be good. You can have 4 seconds with weapon proficiency? Yeah? Which one? I didn't know there was a Falcon. What, like Falcon, which Falcon? Falcon, what, Battle Axe? Does Falcon Battle Axe have something like that? Longsword. Minus 2-second cooldown from front sweep, you're right. I mean, yeah, if this was on like a, soul or sanguine weapon, then maybe, but nobody's going to be using, a shitty Falcon weapon just to get minus 2 seconds on front sweep, no matter how good front sweep is, So it's kind of irrelevant. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, fair enough. It can never be 4 seconds because it doesn't reduce below 50% cooldown. Yeah, but the default cooldown is 6 seconds, so it could theoretically go down as low as 3 seconds, unless you're talking about something else. But yeah, for Exori Min, of course, it can be 4 seconds. They should just Giga Juice front sweep and give it longer cooldown and put Ground Shaker to 6 seconds. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, not make Exori Min part of the rotation, make it more like a finisher, almost kind of like Executioner's Throw. Just make it Giga damage on like a 16-second cooldown or some shit. So you're hunting around with Exori Grand, Exori Mass, and then you want to and then you kill off a bunch of the monsters, and you have like 3 or 4 left, and then you slap them with a Giga Exori Min. Yeah, I mean, that kind of seems to function just like Executioner's Throw, so there's not much variety in the functionality between Exori Min and Executioner's Throw. But yeah, I mean, I guess interesting. Golden 598 Panasursa says. Well, I hope you enjoy Winter Court. Is any Druid build not going into tier 2 Ulus? I don't think so. Especially after rebalance. I don't think so. Actually, what are the Druid perks like for the forks? Where are the fork perks? Where are the fork perks, Tipsoft? Did they not give any fork? Any fork stuff? Oh my god. Oh my god. They should replace the Terror Wave perks with something for the forks, no? Oh my god. I don't have amp core, but is it not ranged? Yeah, it's ranged, but it would basically it functions like a finisher. It's just a chain. What do I think about Monk Wheel after balance with like 600 points? Probably still T2 Ascetic. 600 points? 600 points, you go T2 Ascetic with a greater gem. And you pick up enlarged flurry of blows here. 600 points. This is exactly 600 points. This is my wheel for Monk after rebalance. If you don't like flurry of blows and you don't want to use it, then you would just get the two gems, right? Got to finish in a few minutes, by the way. I got to finish in a few minutes. Got to pick the kids up from preschool. I hope you enjoyed the wheel/paint stream. Got maybe 5 more minutes. Druid feels so half cooked. Yep. Based on what you've seen so far in the update, which vocation seems to be the best for solo? Honestly, probably Paladin. I would based on the changes that they've done and what they proposed, I think Paladin, unsurprisingly, comes out on top again. You can't keep getting away with it. I'd say Paladin. You already built the RP wheel. We talked a little bit about the RP wheel. I think yeah, this is like a 600 point RP wheel. I think I'm gonna have to test it and have a little think. But my feeling is with the Divine Barrage 10% base damage, like there's not much point for Grenade, right? You just go Mass Sand, Divine Barrage, and you don't use Grenade. Why would you ever invest points into Grenade? You just forget about the Grenade wheel. So you may as well go for Divine Empowerment. Pick up this here on the left. I don't know. I don't think you're going to be using Grenade after rebalance unless they change stuff. Well, you've got 2 holy spells. Agneto Potato with a kick subscription. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope the wheels help you a bit. Thank you. Appreciate it. Grenade is good if you have Sanguine Bow as a boost grenade. Sure, but it's a huge investment. Like, Grenade made a lot of sense when you didn't have a second holy spell. And Grenade basically replaced a Rune. And Rune was not very good. Grenade, much better than a Rune. Is Grenade going to be much better than a Divine Barrage? Because it's no longer replacing a Rune. Now it would have to replace Divine Barrage. And yeah, so it kind of depends how strong Divine Barrage is. My expectation is that it's not worth the investment into the Grenade quadrant to just get a slightly better spell than Divine Barrage. That is also clunkier to use because it's on a timer and you really want to be kiting more on a Paladin. So I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. But I do think there's a chance that Divine Grenade not going to be so good. If Divine Barrage is good, then Grenade is not going to be good, right? What I think, anyway. MS from Zero project coming. It's coming. It was supposed to be the first one after rebalance. I'm not yet sure if it will be the first one. Right now, based on the changes that I'm seeing, it's still like before we tested, the test server started, my expectation was going to be I'm going to go Sorcerer into Paladin. Those were the 2 vocations I wanted to try out the most. Now, in week 1, it changed. So I wanted to go Paladin into Sorcerer. And the final decision will be based on next week and how the test server goes. The main thing I'm worried about is I don't want to pick up a vocation that's obviously overpowered. To me, the sniper stance of the Paladin that they are currently proposing is way, way too strong, right? This is too strong. So either they nerf it next week to a more reasonable value, in which case, great, we can play Paladin. If they leave it like this, I am convinced that Paladin will get nerfed within the next 2 or 3 months, in which case I don't want to start with Paladin, because then I'm going to have to re-record shit again. And I've been through this with the Monk. I don't want to go through this again. But you can't heal? You can't heal. Reduces by 15%, dude. What are you talking about? You can't heal now. They removed the not healing part. Your heal is only reduced by 15%. And even better, you've got this other stance that you can switch to if you get in trouble to get extra healing by 15%. Compare wording, what? No longer reduces speed, but reduces healing by 15%. So what? Okay, either way, you're still gonna be healing. There's no way they mean that you can't self-heal or anything. You're still gonna be able to heal, dude. I understand that they added this self-healing, but do you not know Tipsoft? This is just an accident that they forgot to add self in here. They make typos and shit all the time. Bro, every time there's an update, they copy paste from like a previous update or something. It's just going to reduce your healing by 15%. It's not going to mean that you can't heal still. I think what's going to happen here is they're going to just nerf the valleys. I think this 35% distance fighting will go down to like 20. And this 5% of distance as holy magic level will go down to like 2 or 3. And then it's probably okay. If they do that and they nerf it like that, or maybe even reduce the healing even further, then I think it's going to be fine. And then I could consider playing Paladin after the rebalance. If they come out and this is how it's released, so strong, then I'm not playing Paladin just because I expect a nerf and I don't want to re-record my videos again or have people complaining that my results and my videos are out of date because of all the nerfs. I've been through this with the Monk and I hate it and I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to, out of Sorcerer and Paladin, I will choose the Vocation to play after rebalance that I think is weaker or less likely to be nerfed. Or if I think they both not going to be nerfed, if I think they're both pretty weak or balanced and not going to be nerfed, then I will just choose who I think will be more fun. But if one of them is obviously too strong, then I'm staying away. I don't want to make the same mistake, dude. But now what's better? Ascetic 1, Ascetic 2. Guirp 91, I would go with Ascetic 2. Play Knight. The thing with Knight is like, yeah, I'm going to play Knight as well. Like Knight would probably be the third vocation. So we'd probably do Paladin or Sorcerer in some sort of order. And then Knight third. The thing with the Knight is, yeah, it's going to be good. But it's not, I don't think Knight is going to be all that different, all that fun. Sure, he's going to be a little bit stronger. He's going to have better sustain. But if you watch a Knight gameplay from 1 month ago and you watch Knight gameplay 6 months from now, I don't think it's going to be that drastically different. The rotation more or less will still be the same. The movement will be the same. The kiting will be the same. I don't think it's like going to be that different, right? So it's not, is that so exciting for people to watch? I think people want me to play EK because I originally started as an EK creator, you know, all those years ago. And, you know, some of my videos are very, very outdated and people want to see a modern EK from me, and that's fine, and I want to play it, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be that exciting immediately after rebalance because I don't think it's changing that drastically, right? It's going to be more fun, it's going to be more comfortable, it's going to be a little bit stronger, but ultimately it's the gameplay itself is not changing that much. Whereas if you look at Paladin or Sorcerer, the gameplay is changing massively. And anyway, on that note, I do have to finish. It's getting why the sudden dislike for monks? No dislike for monks whatsoever. I think monk is also going to be very fun. I'm looking forward to play the monk as well. It's just that I've been playing the monk for like the past year or so. I don't really want to keep playing monk, right? I mean, I've never played a Vocation for as long continuously as I've been playing the monk for the past 13 months. I am fickle. Okay, I change vocation, I change characters, and it's time for me to try something new, something exciting after the rebalance. There is no dislike for the monk whatsoever. I think it's still great. It's just I just need a little bit of a difference, right? Something different. That's all. Anyway, I do need to finish, guys. I do need to finish. I'm alone this weekend with my kids. I need to go pick them up from preschool. So I'm gonna have to finish. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the wheel and paint stream. And the next stream we will have on Tuesday morning. I'm gonna request a day off from work. I hope I get it, and then on Tuesday we can hopefully have like a 6-hour stream from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. But yeah, let's do that. Now let me look real quick and see if we got someone to raid out to on Twitch. Let me have a quick look. Who's streaming on Kick? Oh, it looks like it's Sfar streaming. Let's go to Sfar. All right. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to send out a raid on Twitch to Sfar, and I will see you all on Tuesday morning, hopefully. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice weekend, and yeah, bye-bye.